from this nice college goalie's equipment. Leg guards. All right? In high school and below, goalies need to wear leg guards. The leg guards can be anything from a soccer shin guard to a baseball shin guard. They actually make, lo and behold, goalie shin guards, which is what I recommend you to buy. They're nice. They're made for women's lacrosse and for goalkeepers. If there's a rule that they make, of course, the manufacturer is going to make something for it. But whatever you have, the goalie needs to be wearing them. And again, you're going to certify, because if a goalie has long pants on, I'm not looking to see if she's wearing her shin guards. I'm going to notice when she gets hit in the shin and goes down and starts crying. So make sure that your goalie has all this equipment and she's not walking on the field without this equipment. And another place she's not walking on the field without this equipment, if there's live action going on, is on the field during practice. Practice. Your field players and your goalies should be properly equipped at all times. I was at a clinic the other day with my son, and I was just amazed that the girls were out there without goggles on and without mouth guards on. And they were playing on the field with boys who had, they were covered from head to toe. And I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm new here, I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to say anything, but I think this week I'm going to say something. Because it's just, I'm looking at the balls flying all over the place, and these girls just with a stick. They had nothing else. Your girls walk on the field for your practices, you make sure they have no jewelry on, get them in the habit, and make sure they have their mouth guards in their mouth, not just with them and stick it in their bra, and they have their goggles not just on their head, but on their eyes. Because you remember, in practice, in a game, there's one ball flying around. It's easy to follow that one ball. In practice, you could have 10, 15, 20 balls flying around. It's more dangerous in practice for them not to be properly equipped, actually, than it is in the game. So you should remember that. And it's, you're out there, you're certifying them, so whose liability is it if they don't have it on and they get hurt? All right? Pre-game. Everybody got these cute little blue lanyards today? We didn't give you these because they gave them to us and we like them and they're cute. They actually serve a purpose. They actually served a purpose last year, and a lot of the programs just kind of didn't read that part or didn't understand what that means. At each game, each team will have to have a sideline manager. Okay, what does that sideline manager do? They are basically, it says it on the card, they are there not to be the policeman, they are there just in case somebody gets out of hand and a little rambunctious. Decides not to cheer in the spirit of the game. And all they're going to be is just maybe a little reminder, because they're standing there with their lanyard and somebody looks over and says, ooh, I better calm down there. All right? That's what they're there for. Before the game, the sideline manager is going to meet with the umpires and the coach in the middle of the field and the captains. Just so we know they're there. It could be the same person every game. You can designate, we designate our snack person. Whoever brings snacks that day is the sideline manager. Obviously, sometimes you might even want to designate that loudmouth. It's funny, you put this thing on them, and they're not so loud anymore because then they realize, oh my God, I have to be an example. So if you have a problem parent, they might be a great sideline manager, rather than trying to ignore them and go, oh God, I don't know this person. Two of them. Remember, I introduced Tucker White, he's our sportsmanship liaison for our board. If you see him at a game, and he's not umpiring, there's a problem somewhere. You probably don't want to see that in your program. He'll be there because we had gotten, came to our conference president, came to me, came to him, that there is a problem parent, a problem coach, a problem player on the field that needs to be dealt with. So you really don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be in that situation. So try to keep your program, when you have your parent meeting, talk about sportsmanship, talk about the Positive Coaches Alliance. Hopefully you've all taken some kind of Positive Coaches Alliance. If you have not, you will be. And understand how the game and how it should be coached properly. Okay. Now we're going to go get into some of the parts of the game, and this microphone's going to have to go. We can go over there. All right. Yes. Okay. All right, we're going to try to talk louder. That you can hear us. Can you all hear me? Yeah. All right, good. I've never really had a problem that people couldn't hear me, but you never know. All right, the first thing we're going to talk about is checking at the different levels of this game. All right? Start with 3-4. 3-4 is easy because there isn't any. You can't check at 3-4. All right? Now we move up to 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, remember, our 5, 6 are playing level A lacrosse. To know what level A lacrosse is, you need to read the rule book and need to read what level A is. But basically, one of the main differences between level A lacrosse and C level and B level lacrosse is that players have the ability to check. Now, before I give you the ability to check, maybe we should teach you what a check is. All right? A check is a very nice, easy, and the rule book actually defines what a check is, which is nice. So if you really don't know, if you're more of I have to read it to know what's going on, there's a definition of a check in your rule book. You want your hands, first of all, 2 hands on the stick at all times. You want your hands apart, not together, and it's short and sweet. All right? That's a check. That's not a check. All right? In youth lacrosse, that is not a check. Illegal in youth lacrosse. All right? Short and sweet. Sound does not make anything. Because I can check hard, I can check soft. I missed it. All right? But you want it short and sweet. Now we go to your level. The level you're coaching, 5, 6, 7, and 8. When can they check? They can only check when the whole head of the lacrosse stick is below their shoulder. Okay? Not below my shoulder, the person checking, because I can be a lot shorter, and my shoulder can be a lot lower. Below the person who's cradling. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I would never teach a kid to cradle like this. You teach a kid to cradle up here. So basically, when really do checks in reality of the game, when do they happen? Picking up a ground ball. All right? Now, he picks up the ground ball, I can check. All right? Once that ball is obtained and brought up into the cradle position, I can't check anymore. Now you got to teach your kids how to play defense. Play defense with your feet, not your body. Just my little pet peeve about checking, because everybody thinks it's cool. Checking is your last line of defense, not your first. All right? So yes, when you're picking up a ground ball, because this is a possession game, you want to be able to get that ball. Teach them how to check safely with 2 hands away from the body to get the ball and dislodge it from the player. Once it comes up here and they bring it up into the cradle of position, no more checking. We're done. Do not, in practice, let them check up here. You have a whistle in practice. If you see somebody checking up here, stop them. All right? Whether they played in club, they played a level FC, they're on your developmental team, fine, we'll get into that in a minute. But if they are not any of the above, and if they are not playing with players of that level in practice, do not let them check up here. Because they're just going to get hurt, they're going to hurt somebody, and they're not ready for it yet. You can have checking drills, and when Kim goes over the drills, or when you go online to look at some drills, there are drills to teach them how to check. But when you're in practice and you're in live situations, do not let them do it, because it just becomes a dangerous situation, and then they get in the game and they forget that they're not supposed to do it. And that's when we have problems. All right? Now, let's go over what a check is not. This person goes to throw the ball, and I'm playing good defense. That is not a check. Right? I'm just playing good defense. I'm mirroring. All right? You see the difference? Here, I'm just playing good defense. I just want to stop the ball. I'm not checking. We're going up for a ball that's up in the air. We're reaching for it. These are not checks, because what happened? The definition of a check wasn't met. What I say, we're here and we're away. Definition of check. So when all those sticks are clanging together, that's fine. That's good defense. That's good trying to get the ball. Please do not be screaming she's checking, because she's not. All right? What we are looking for is the checking motion. Even if she's up here and she goes